Hi guys, welcome back to Salt and Light. If you're new to the channel or you've forgotten who I am, my name is Kev and I am building a 47-foot Dudley Dix design catamaran here in Japan. Well, today is the last day of 2025 and I know that the videos have been a little bit thin this year. And there's been a number of reasons for that, some of which I've talked about before, with me helping Meg out with her mum and stuff like that. But there is another reason, and I just want to touch on that if I can for a few minutes. I started this project towards the end of July in 2021, so it's sort of like 4.5 years ago now, and really the last 6 months have been pretty hard in terms of motivation. I guess I got to a point where I was overwhelmed with the amount of work that was left to be done, and I sort of lost sight of the end. Not being able to see the end, I didn't really know where I was going with a lot of the parts and working on the boat. And that was hard. And I had visions of me, rocking up here in my late 70s with a bit of sandpaper in my hand and still, rubbing down, the boat, getting it ready for painting. And I didn't want that. I was like, and it's like, am I wasting my time? Could I be doing better things with my time? Would it be easier to just give up, try and sell off everything we've got and just move on? They were some of the thoughts that went through my head, and this is the first time I've actually vocalized that. But 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting with the company that owns this building, and it turns out that they actually want to use the building going forward in the future. And so they have given me 2 more years and that's it, no more. I've got 2 more years to be finished, to be able to finish the boat. And you know what, that was probably the best news that I've had in a long time, because it just gave me the kick in the pants, if you like, to get going and continue this project on. Now I've got a clear date. I've got a clear vision of the end. Yes, there's still a lot of work to be done, but I am now convinced that I can do it, and within that time frame. Even hoping to be able to do a little bit quicker. Now, one of the things that I find difficult is that most days I'm here by myself, and I have a few guys come on a Wednesday, which is great. Really enjoy those days, and on Saturday I have some friends come, and that's also really helpful. But the other days during the week, I just tend to find myself, when I'm by myself, it is a lot harder to keep motivated. And I was giving some thought to this and how I can move ahead to have something to help with the motivation. And I thought, well, what if I use this channel to, I guess, try and keep me accountable to the workload and to the work that has to be done. And so I'm going to try that, give that a go, see how that goes. So obviously going forward, my time is limited now. The time that I can spend on actually filming the videos and editing and building a really good quality production is going to be limited. So we may lose a little bit in quality of production, but I wanted to bring you guys along with me. Now, one of the things that I have really enjoyed and has been really a source of encouragement, are your comments. You guys have been a great support over the years. I've really enjoyed the comments and the interactions that we've had within the comments sections. I'm hoping that we can use those interactions just to keep me motivated and encouraged to keep going and to get on with the job at hand and get this boat finished. So well, that's enough for that, and I thank you guys for your support over the years. Yeah, let's look forward to the beginning of 2026, and let's get this boat finished and done. So that's it. All right, let's go and have a look at some of the things that I have been doing since the last video. All right, well, one of the things that sort of became a bit of a challenge during the year was the battery compartment and where I was going to be putting the lithium batteries. The certifying body here in Japan have recently just come out with a new standard, if you like, for lithium batteries. That standard has said that it needs to be fireproof. So that was a bit of a challenge to go, well, how do we make these compartments fireproof? We've come up with a solution. May not be the best solution, but it is a solution that will tick the box for certification here, and that means I've had to change things a little bit within the compartment. So let's have a look. So down here is where the batteries are going to go into this compartment here. Had it all painted out and all ready to go, and it was going to be accessible. I made an access hole underneath. Will be here under this counter. Will be an access hatch into that battery compartment. But to be able to get the sheets in to make it fireproof, I had to cut a bigger hole so I can get the sheets in. Now, we've decided to use a calcium silicate sheeting, not a traditional boat building material at all, but really this is the first time that I've heard of that the battery compartment needs to be fireproof, and this is the best thing we can come up with at the time. So we've started lining the insides with it. We've started lining the sheets. You can see we've got that sheet just temporarily fixed at the moment. So we've got the sheet above is glued in, ready to go. And so we're going to continue on cutting these pieces out and fitting out. It also needs some ventilation. So I'm thinking that here there's a facing that goes on across the front here, and this becomes all line storage in here. I'm thinking that we can put a vent in here, which will give us ventilation, which is what they also require. And I'm looking into different vents to make that happen, that it will be suitable for what we need. That ticks the fireproof box as well as ventilation. It seems a bit strange having those two things together, but anyway, that's what they're asking for. So behind this sheet, I have created a gap on which we can get cables between cables behind. Now obviously inside the batteries are going to come up and we'll connect to the Lynx distributor, and then the inverter will just be on the other side of that wall. So we'll need to make some penetrations through that end wall inside and straight into the inverter. It's been a situation of like, what am I going to do? You know, like came up and like, how do we manage this? But anyway, I think I'm happy with the solution that we've come up with, and I think it's going to work. Maybe not traditional boat building material, but anyway, it is what it is, and it will be. It's going to be a lot more fire resistant than just the plywood itself. So I think that's a bonus. All right, so you've seen sort of the lounge area before. This is all coming together, pieces are cut. Now underneath here, I've also created some air conditioning ducts. So these are the vents here for the salon, and underneath this panel here is some ducting. So there's a piece that runs between the two vents and then down, and the air conditioning units, we'll see, oh, it's a bit dark in here. Yeah, so the air conditioning units are going to sit down here. The ducting will come up and go through the top of the deck into the ducts above, which will sit under the panel above. Now the inverter is going to go on this wall here, and you can see that I've already started to cut out access for the cables that will come through behind the silicate sheeting. So that will give us access across the boat, and then just here will be the access for the will give us access for the cables coming from the Lynx distributor. It'll come out and then up into the bottom of the distributor of the inverter that will sit here. The shore power, it will come in through the transom, through the splay, and then it will come out in an area in here. So the box, which has the breaker and everything in it, will just mount here within inside this cupboard here. So I've started to build up the base part of the transom just to get an idea of how it all goes together. So we have these supports that go down, and also the bottom piece which gives us our shape. So you can see it sort of curves out and follows the back edge basically of the bridge deck. So I've got all of the pieces fitted. I've checked them. There is 4 layers of 22mm by 44mm hardwood, which will get stacked up onto there, and it gets glued on. Yeah, so it gets glued onto the back of this part here, and then goes around, and yeah, so that creates a solid beam. And then the panels on, so it's made up of 3 layers of 6mm ply, gives us 18mm, and then there'll be a fiberglass schedule that goes on the surface of the plywood as well to build that up. So I'm thinking to hold off, continue holding off on the transom just because it just gives me such easy access in and out of the boat at the moment while I'm building everything else. So I'm okay to leave this until we're a little bit further down the road. One of the things we've been looking at is how we're going to mount the batteries in a secure fashion whilst giving us access to all of the terminals and things like that, and being able to get them in. Now, my good friend that comes on Saturdays, he works for a company and they use this aluminium quite a lot, and so he brought some samples of this aluminium frame. I think this is the same sort of stuff that Mads has used for his CNC machine that he's going to lift up and down in his little container workshop area. I think it's the same sort of stuff. But there's a lot of options available for these. There's all sorts of different brackets available, and also even in here, cable ties. You know, they can just they just drop in and twist, and then you can run a cable tie through that and secure your cable. So in terms of cable management and strength and being able to hold the batteries, I think this is a winner. So my friend has actually done a CAD drawing of how it all goes together. All right, it's a bit of a gloomy day today. It's a bit cold and rainy, and it's a bit on the gloomy side. But one of the other things we actually got done early in December, we actually got some primer sprayed onto the sides of the boat. Still need to do a little bit more sanding on the wave breaker and the splays there. I've just done some fairing and need to get that sanded off, get that covered in resin and also primed. But you've got some primer onto the boats, and there'll be some footage of that. So all of that was used a spray gun for that. And then also done a little bit of painting up here on the decks as well. I don't know if I've shown you. The roof has been given 3 coats of resin, so it is ready to. It's had 1 wash down. I think I probably need to give it another wash before I start giving it a light sand and getting some paint on it. But it's looking pretty good. So I've got the supports in for what will become sort of nav desk area, and the kitchen top is there. Now there was, initially we were going to do a U-shaped kitchen, sort of the other way around, but I'm trying to make this one work this way. I just think it will be a better outcome. But anyway, that's going to be a work in progress in the next little bit. One of the things that's facilitating that, or making that happen, is initially I was going to have the 2 refrigerators side by side in this area, but now I've got the access hole for the battery, so I probably need to keep that clear. And so I probably need to get, so this box represents the size of the refrigerator, so probably need to build in the kitchen bench to be able to have a refrigerator here. We also need to get the microwave / oven in here as well as some drawers and things. So yeah, it's going to require some creative some creative design, but that's okay, I'm up for that. I'm having some stainless steel handrails just for these back corners, so they have been made and test fitted. Just some slight adjustments need to be made, that's being done now, and some final polishing. So that's about it for where we're up to. Hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, let's look forward to 2026 and making quite a big dent in getting this boat moved along. And yeah, we'll definitely see you in the next video.